Bond's Haunted Castle.
So many crazy things have been on my mind lately. I make indie books. I'm part of the little indie sphere. I see all these crazy things, debates happening now, debates around art and business of art. It's crazy. It's kind of funny. It's kind of interesting. But to me, it's actually a great time to reflect on my experience in it and maybe even relate it to some of you guys, some of the things that can happen to you. Kind of crazy that happened recently. There was a big debate about the, I guess you could say, the validity or the goods and the pros and the cons of back-end deals. Some people were saying it's bad news. Some people were saying, it's actually okay. You take a big risk, you get a great reward. Okay, so where I'm at as an artist, I had to think about it for a minute, and I thought about it, and I realized I've been screwed over by 3 back-end deals. Oh, wait, no. Then I thought a little harder. No, I've been screwed over by like 4 back-end deals throughout my career, guys. 4. You know how dumb that makes me? So I wanted to make this video and relay some of my experiences and some of my stories with you guys. If you're cool with that, it's going to have a little story time involved, but I hope you guys will enjoy it. It's going to be kind of funny, trust me. But it's the truth, and that's what's important here. We need to learn from this. This is a great discussion to have around art and the debate around back-end deals. A lot of young artists fall for this. It's so common that every artist has their story kind of thing. If that tells you anything about back-end deals, okay? And the story usually ends the same way. They didn't get a cent for their work. That's the way it ends, okay? Back-end deals are, I would say, infamous in the art world. Okay, they're not something that you're like, oh goody, finally a back-end deal. I can't wait to work on this for months. Hopefully I get paid. No artist does that. It doesn't happen. So back-end deals actually something that it's a term that I haven't heard in forever since I made Monster MD years ago. I haven't heard of anyone taking back-end deals. I haven't heard of anything like that. I have heard of partnerships forming and people and those always falling through. Everything that's involving a back-end deal ends up like, oh, we'll give you more money at the end. No. Back-end deals should basically only be you get paid for a page rate or whatever, and then at the end you get a nice little bonus percentage. Look at them like a bonus. And look at them like a giant back end that's going to take a huge dump on your chest, kids. Because I'm telling you, I have been screwed over too many times to like just watch you people debate it. Like, the pros and the cons. Guys, all artists should be very wary of back end deals. If you can make a contract where everyone's super safe, even then, what you're doing is a risk that doesn't reward you in the way you think it's going to, and it can be turned off at any second. Someone can pull out and then nobody makes any money. You don't make any money for your work. It's something young artists fall for a lot. Why? Well, we're naive, but also we're dreamers. We're a little more optimistic, and we don't know that people are going to use us that bad. And man, do they use you bad. Guys, I've got stories. I've got 4 because I'm a dummy. I never should have even fallen for 1. But I've got 4 back-end deals. Oh, when I think about it, it kind of makes me sick. But luckily, I was a writer. It didn't trash me too hard. Man, I did do work I didn't get paid for on multiple projects. The first back-end deal I was ever involved in. Oh, yeah, as you can see here, I posted this graphic this is an old comic book forum for hiring people to work with and finding people to team up with. In this forum, I think it's called Digital Webbing. It's kind of non-existent now. It only recently went under or disappeared or whatever. But I went and did a little digging in the and found some old school stuff on the forums under back-end deal. And as you can see, a bunch of people are offering back-end deals. You're going to get a percentage. Bro, you get paid when we get paid. Okay, bro? Let me tell you something about these guys, man. Okay, here's my first story. My first story is a guy I grew up with and was friends with as a little boy. We both ran into each other again. Or actually, he reached out to me. He saw that I was a screenwriter or wanting to be one. I was really just a 20-something-year-old wannabe screenwriter, let's be honest. A lot of us are at one point, right? And he said, write me a full screenplay. I'm going to pay you, I think, 20 grand for it, and I'm going to take like 5 grand for myself or some whatever. But like, we're going to sell this. We're definitely going to sell this. I have the connects right there. It's one thing you're going to see a lot of these guys say. You're going to hear a lot. They always have big connections and there's money coming. Oh, it's a for sure thing. Oh yeah, it's pretty much for sure. That's all horse shit, guys. There isn't money coming. Okay? He never got paid. We never sold the script. I never made a dime. Okay? I was just a guy living in an apartment, working a blue-collar job in a pipe factory. Not the smoke kind, but like the industrial kind that you do oil with and stuff. Well, not as fun as the smoke pipe factory next door. Those guys had fun. And a lot of smoke breaks. No, but for real, guys, I'm telling you, it is not a situation you want to find yourself in as an artist if you draw. I mean, as a writer, you're also being exploited. It's a very exploitive practice. It's so exploitive that this very forum that I'm showing you the screenshot from, these are like old posts or whatever from the Wayback Machine I had to dig up or whatever. But that forum had to ban back-end deals because all they do is cause problems. Nothing ever gets made. And how many things do you love, books or movies, where it was like, and the story is a fairy tale ending. It was a back-end deal, and this little artist went from rags to riches. That doesn't fucking happen. That doesn't happen. You never hear that fucking story for a reason. Sucks, doesn't it? I wish that story was true. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. But no, there's no back-end deals. What they really are like a little bonus. So that's my first back-end deal gone awry. Awry. What was another one I did? Oh man, they're so exploitive. Okay, yeah, I got another one. This guy in Chicago. Oh god, I can't believe I did this, but this happened to me. This guy in Chicago hired me to write a stage play that was going to be set to 9 Inch Nails music. And he completely just got a free script out of me and just walked away. Said, you're going to get paid a percentage of every ticket sold. It's going to be a real stage play. And they're going to do full-on fighting, full-on choreographed, crazy fist fights, insane fight scenes, awesome 9 Inch Nails music. I was like, yeah, just a young college idiot. I was like, yeah, do this. Let's get this made. I want to be behind this. I want to write this. I don't write for the stage even. And I'm like, let's fucking do this. So I write him this awesome kick-ass stage play with all of his notes and ideas and mine, a lot of mine too. I made it work. Pretty solid. And then he threw a party to raise money to put on this production. And he raised a bunch of money from that party. And then he took the money and ran. Fuck you, Vaughn. I'm out. Crazy. No, not crazy. Typical. What happened was typical. That's a back-end deal, guys. He didn't feel bad about it. He didn't give a shit. And I'll tell you why I know he didn't feel bad. I mean, other than the fact that he took the money and ran. He left the state or moved away or some shit. He ran for it, guys. He ran. But check this shit out. When I was at the party, he had a table with script pages on it. And man, I walked up to that table and I was feeling pretty good for a split second. But then life had other fucking plans. He had rewritten my script, of course. He had changed like a male character into this femme fatale who was always just talking about sex and being sexy and doing sex things. Oh my god. And it was like the worst writing. It would make porn writing cringe. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking awful. And I'm like, I don't even have a say. He just rewrote it. Some people, what they like to do, especially to writers, you'll let you write the whole thing, not pay you, and then they'll use your heavy lifting of actually sitting down, writing the script, structuring, getting it all done, the heavy lifting. They can just like rewrite your little lines and like they feel really creative and good about themselves and like they contributed. And it's the easy shit. It's the fill in the blank shit. How do we use this line? So another thing to watch out for, this guy said to me, he said, I've done this type of thing before. I've put on stage plays before that were very successful and blah. And so they'll always talk about like how they have had previous successes in the past, but you should be very skeptical of those and like really look at, what was it, their thing or were they just part of it? You know what I mean? Do a little internet research if you're questioning. But still, I wouldn't even take the back end deal. I probably should have saved that for the end of the video, but I can't help it. I've had too many bad experiences, you guys. Too many bad experiences. Anyway, of course it didn't get made. Of course it didn't make it to stage. Of course he took the money and ran. Of course I didn't get paid a dime. I was then part of another weird back-end deal thing where some guy was like a total anime nerd and he had all these people working in video games for him to make his little dream come true. And he promised the money was coming in. This is another one of the things that happened to me, and this is another one of the things to watch out for. We have funds definitely coming. The investors are coming. Yeah, been talking to a lot of investors. Oh yeah, I've got some investors on the line. Some pretty big names actually. One of them's associated with this guy. They'll like name drop someone in Hollywood or something, or drop someone in comics to like fuck with you. They're fucking con men. Do you understand me? So then that guy, of course, he was going to have me write a comic version of his main character, and we had all these talks about it. And he was a completely idiotic, clueless weeb who was completely lying and manipulating all of us into working for free for his poorly thought out, conceived, shitty idea about robot fighting. It was garbage. I was trying to make it cool. He didn't want to. So like I was like, well, I'm just doing all this work for nothing. So I just started blowing him off until he was like, whoa, and went nuts on me because of course he didn't have that control anymore. He was not getting any more work out of me because that's what he does. These people, they're con men. You understand me? They can't. Okay. And then the next one, the fourth one, was hysterical. I did this one because I was safe to do this one financially. I was like getting a good job and I was like living, I was finding a new place to stay. So I was living somewhere rent free for a brief moment in my life. So I was like, let's just take this shitty back-end deal on the forums and see what happens. Let's just do it. I'll write a few things and then if it doesn't work out, it's probably not going to work out. Let's just do this one for science. Do you know what I'm saying? Have you ever thought about like, I know that's ridiculous. I know it is, but I knew by then I'd done 3 back-end deals. They all suck. You don't get paid. So I took the deal. And this guy was like, I want you to write something that's like real WWF. Wrestlers come in and they talk shit and they fight. And like the commentators are like, whoa, I can't believe it. How's he going to get out of this one, McMahon? Like all this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to like basically just write what we've all already seen and like what someone else already does, but they do it well. And I'm supposed to write that into a comic. So I came up with a different idea and I pitched it to him. I wrote it out. I wrote a script. I wrote a little synopsis, all the shit you got to do to make a good pitch. I did. And it was a story about a guy, a human who lived on this tiny planet in solitude with his alien wife. Like kind of think of them almost as space retirees. They're living the life. There's beautiful suns that hit their little planet. Everything's perfect. But then the wife starts getting ill. She's dying. This badass bruiser dude enters himself into this galaxy arena fight competition to win the belt of immortality off of the emperor of the galaxy so he can give it to his wife and keep her from dying. And there's going to be fights in this arena, and it's going to be intense and dramatic, and it's going to have all these story involved with it, and it's going to have, he has to win the ultimate belt to save her, and it's going to be awesome, right? Guy was like, freaks out, has a full meltdown. WWF? Where's the sports commentators? Where's the commentary? He freaked out. Whole back-end deal fell through, guys. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk? Are we catching on to a pattern here yet, people? So what was his thing? His thing was saying he was connected to a publisher. He's like, yeah, I've worked for other... They'll say they've worked for other publishers, like weird ones or obscure ones or whatever. And like, they won't tell you what they did, though. Or if it's even... It might not even be true, but they'll do that. I've got connects, man. Once you get published, bro, you get a % off the back, bro. The way they treat it, they try to make it sound like it's the most common type of deal ever. And it's like the most fucking toxic, exploitive, fuck you kind of deal you can imagine. All right? Yeah, I've got some strong feelings about the back-end deal. The back-end deal has given me the back-end shitting on my chest 4 times. It's insane. People will exploit you. I did start another back-end deal with a guy that fell through really quick. Maybe I should just make it 5. There was a guy who's having me write about the spear that pierced Christ, and he had all these dumb ideas, and I just started writing the script, and he immediately didn't like what I was doing, and he freaked out, and that was over. But I had only written like 10 pages of script, maybe less, and he freaked out and disappeared. So like another back-end deal falling through. It wasn't a lot of work, but it was work. Luckily, I was like a college kid at the time when I did that one. I forgot even how I got connected to that guy. Some friend was like, oh, my friend needs help writing your that. He'll pay you, I promise. As an artist, you learn from getting screwed over, but maybe I can make this video and tell you guys my hilarious experiences, and you will learn from that. Maybe? I don't know. I've got one last story for you guys. Are you going to let me have it? Can I tell you this one? All right. So, on these forums where I used to look for the awesome artists from all these crazy comic scripts I've been writing. And there was this guy, and he coded the forums with all of his ads constantly. Every book idea he ever had, he had an ad up for it, and it was copy pasted. It was like the same ad, and it was always like, "Hi, I'm Johnny J from Johnny J Productions, coming at you with another fantastic comic book story. What if a man was hunted by himself? He was hunting himself. What if?" I don't know. I'm just making up shit. Basically, I made up this character of Johnny J in my head for what he's like, but I gotta tell you, he was a very real person. His name was Johnny J, and he coded the forums with back-end deals. So many back-end deals, in fact. He was so diligent that he got about, I would say, at least 5, possibly 5 to 10 projects going at once, all on the back-end deal. All young, naive artists, all very different artists. Not very good artists, I'll say, sadly, but, well, I mean, whatever. They weren't very good artists. They were naive. They were trying to do the back-end deal thing. I was there too once. I feel for them. You know what I mean? And he formed a blog, JohnnyJ.com, you know, and he formed a blog, and Johnny J, he didn't even talk like that probably. I made up this head, I made up this voice in my head for Johnny J and what he sounds like. I made up this voice and this character for who is the weirdo behind these copy-paste forum posts, who's getting all these poor naive artists to work for him at the same time. He had like a full comic book company running for like half a minute, and then everybody stopped turning in work all at the same time, and his blog just completely died. But for a split second, he had a blog with all of his projects on it, and he would keep us up to date with every project, every sketch, everything they did. He'd go, "Great job! Oh God, this comic's coming together fantastic! Oh, it's absolutely fantastic! Another fantastic Johnny J production coming at you." I invented this character, and I started laughing at the guy, but I have to admit, I did in fact confront him on the forums, and then Johnny J was like, "Yeah, Johnny J doesn't like that very much. Johnny J, he didn't like it. He went nuts." And then I think after that, they had to ban back-end deals from the forums. You're welcome, America. Yeah, I'm here to help. You see what I'm saying? Are you catching what I'm laying down? Don't be a Johnny J. Pay your artist and then give them like a back-end deal if you make tons of money. If you make over a certain amount, give them a percentage. That's a back deal. Back-end deal should be a bonus. And I think giving them a little money is fair too. It's safe. You can cut that money out of the back-end deal percentage you give them. Cut that out. Cut those wages out. It's just safe for everyone. Think of it as just what's most respectful to an artist too. You want to be respectful to these people, man. They work their asses off. They get so little for it. I know, because I'm one of them. You see what I'm saying? I've lived that life. I've gotten my ass whooped 5 times. Back end, right on the back end. It's a bunch of bullshit, guys. Anyway, you gotta be careful. Don't be a Johnny J. Johnny J coming at you with another fantastic comic book story. Gonna get paid on the back end. It's a Western. What if a cowboy was hunted down by his own brother? Oh my God, what a story coming at you. Wild Times from Johnny J by the new Western, Wild Times. So yeah, Johnny J sucks. Don't be like him. His entire fake comic empire rose up and then crumbled like a sketch getting shaken by a bully on the recess playground. I don't know. That wasn't a good analogy at all. It just went, I guess, yeah, it did. Guys, it's castles made of sand. And in the end, when you respect the artist, they will respect you and respect the project that you're working on. And that creates a good, healthy relationship with which you can create more books in the future and continue to tell great stories. That's what it's all about, people. That's what we got to do. That's how we're working it. That's how we do these things. All right. I love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. I'm out.
There it goes. Sometimes on for 5 minutes, sometimes on for 5 hours. That's my man. Talk hard!
Vaughn's Haunted Castle.